Hey everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to talk about a book that really shifted my perspective on, well, everything. It's Jordan B. Peterson's Beyond Order 12 More Rules for Life. Now, you might already know Peterson from his previous work, 12 Rules for Life, which focused a lot on dealing with chaos. But this one takes us deeper into what happens after you've wrestled with the dragons of chaos. It's about how we navigate the dangers that come not from too much disorder but from too much order. Zuck. Imagine that for a second. The very structures that give us security can also become prisons. It's a heavy topic for sure, but Peterson, drawn from his own incredibly tough personal experiences like his family's severe health crises and his old battle with benzodiazepine withdrawal, which landed him in an ICU in Moscow, of all places, makes it incredibly relatable. He even wrote much of this book during those harrowing times, which really underlines the depth of the lessons within Zyg's psyche. So what's this book really about? At its heart, Beyond Order is about finding meaning and thriving, not by avoiding the tough stuff but by voluntarily shouldering the burdens of life's Key 134, 182. Peterson argues that true lasting positive emotion doesn't come from mere happiness, which is fleeting, but from the pursuit of a valuable goal, especially one that involves taking on responsibility. He says, notice that opportunity lurks where responsibility has been abdicated. Think about that. When you see a problem, big or small, that no one else is tackling, maybe it's a messy corner in your house or an inefficiency at work that's not just a problem. That's your opportunity. It's often risky and difficult, but that's precisely what makes it worthwhile and significant. He shares a story about a young waiter who decided to stop criticizing his low-status job and instead work as hard as he possibly could, taking responsibility for every detail. In 6 months, he was promoted 3 times. It's a real-world example of how embracing responsibility, even for seemingly mundane things, can open doors you didn't even know existed. Now, you might be thinking, but what if I hate what I'm doing? Should I just suck it up and be responsible for something I despise? And here's where Peterson drops another powerful rule: do not do what you hate. This isn't about being lazy or entitled. It's about protecting your soul and maintaining your integrity. If you consistently act against your conscience, you chip away at your very being, leading to self-betrayal and resentment. He talks about a client who was forced to deal with absurd corporate political correctness, like a debate over whether flip chart was an offensive term. Instead of passively accepting it, she pushed back in areas she could affect, like debunking pseudo-scientific theories in the workplace and writing as a journalist. These acts, though challenging, fortified her against depression and bolstered her self-regard. It's about choosing to stand fast, even when the costs are high, before your ability to resist is completely compromised. Another crucial idea is, work as hard as you possibly can on at least one thing and see what happens. Peterson uses the metaphor of coal turning into a diamond under intense heat and pressure. Our lives, with their multiple, often conflicting internal motivations, need that kind of focused pressure to become integrated and shine. He observed this in his graduate students. The discipline of thesis preparation, however difficult, improved their character, articulation, and sense of purpose. It's about sacrificing manifold potential in exchange for something real and committing to it. Even if cynicism whispers in your ear, what's the consequence of not doing this? All the suffering of life, with none of the meaning. That's a description of hell, isn't it? And speaking of order and chaos, this book delves into something very profound: the wisdom in balancing them. Peterson argues that too much order can become totalitarian, rigidly preventing the necessary psychological and social changes required for adaptations. 2335, but too much chaos as well, chaotic and destructive. So we need to keep one foot in what's known and stretching the other tentatively into the unknown. This leads to the rule: try to make one room in your home as beautiful as possible. Why a room? Because it's a manageable microcosm of your life. If you can bring order and beauty to a small, contained space, you learn how to transform chaos into something meaningful. He shares his own struggles with cleaning his home office after intense personal and professional turmoil. Admitting it became quite messy, but the core idea is that art and beauty are not luxuries, they are fundamental to human well-being. Serving as a guide to what is true and good, artists, he explains, are the vanguard, transforming the unknown into knowledge and teaching us how to see the world anew. It's about seeing the miraculous in the mundane, just like Van Gogh's Iris painting. Peterson also tackles the lingering shadows of the past with the rule: if old memories still upset you, write them down carefully and completely. He explains that traumatic memories, especially those not fully understood, can haunt us and prevent us from moving forward. Like golden ore, useful information must be extracted from past experiences. He recounts a fascinating story of a client who, through guided discussion and writing, reframed a childhood sexual abuse memory, realizing it was less about a malevolent force and more about poor adult supervision and a child's immaturity. This process, which can be immensely painful, transforms raw horror into understanding, allowing one to update their autobiographical map and escape the torment of the past. It's about confronting the sharp objects in the fog of your past to see if they're real or fantastical, and then being able to navigate around them. In relationships, Peterson doesn't pull any punches either. He gives us plan and work diligently to maintain the romance in your relationship. He stresses that romance isn't some unearned gift from Cupid. It requires tremendous commitment, practice, and effort. He poses a chilling thought: every trivial but chronic disagreement about cooking, dishes, house cleaning, responsibility for finances, or frequency of intimate contact will be duplicated over and over unless you successfully address it. His advice includes dedicated weekly discussions, like 90 minutes a week, just for practical and personal matters to keep communication open and address issues before they fester. He even suggests daring to have an affair with your wife or husband by consciously planning and creating romantic interludes, complete with candles and attractive clothing, much like one might imagine an illicit affair. The alternative, he warns, is a slow, decades-long throttling of each other. This isn't just about happiness, it's about making peace through negotiation, which requires fighting through conflict with strong commitment. Finally, and perhaps most profoundly, Peterson urges us to be grateful in spite of your suffering. This isn't naive optimism. It's a courageous act that comes from a deep understanding of life's inherent difficulties and malevolence. He believes you can truly appreciate the good until you have a profound sense of how terrible things could be, or how easy it is for things to be terrible. This acceptance of suffering, combined with the willingness to constrain the malevolence within oneself and work for the good of the world, is the pathway to meaning. He shares how people found strength at funerals by consciously choosing to be reliable and brave in the face of loss, offering an example of resilience to others. It's about choosing to say onward and upward even when everything suggests despair, a decision rooted in courage subsumed to love. So what's the takeaway from Beyond Order? It's a call to conscious, courageous action. It's about recognizing that life is an ongoing, difficult adventure. You're going to face chaos, both external and internal, whether you like it or not. Text 339. The key is to confront it voluntarily, to aim at the highest good you can conceive, and to accept the responsibility that comes with that aim. It's about understanding that both order and chaos have their dangers, and that a meaningful life is lived on the frontier between them, constantly learning and adapting. Side 26. If you're looking for a book that challenges you to be better, to find deep meaning in the struggle, and to take genuine responsibility for your life and the world around you, then Beyond Order is absolutely worth the read. It won't give you easy answers, but it will give you a framework to ask better questions and to live a life of profound significance.